Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real English Talk, the podcast where we make English simple, natural, and real every single day. I am Olivia.
I am Michael. Hello, everyone. So happy to be here today. Before we start, if this podcast is part of your English journey, please subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps us reach more people just like you.
Michael, how are you doing?
Honestly, something happened last week that I still cannot stop thinking about, and I am a little embarrassed to even say it out loud.
Oh, now I am very curious. Tell us everything.
Okay. So a close friend of mine was moving to a new flat, and she asked for my help the week before. I said yes immediately. Absolutely no hesitation. I was genuinely excited to help her, actually. And then the day came, and I woke up with a fever, properly sick. Could barely stand up straight, let alone carry boxes up 3 flights of stairs.
3 flights? Oh no!
3 flights, yes. So I picked up my phone and texted her that I was so sorry and that I would have helped her today if I had not been so completely unwell. She did not reply for a few hours, and those few hours felt very long, I will tell you that.
I can imagine. And then?
And then she finally wrote back that there was no need to worry and that I should feel better soon, with a little smile at the end of the message. That smile?
What about it?
It was not a real smile. You know that smile? The one people send when something feels slightly off, but they are far too polite to actually say anything about it? That one. I read that message about 10 times trying to figure out what had gone wrong. I had apologized, I had explained, I had been completely honest. But something in that reply told me that something had not landed the way I meant it at all.
And do you know what it was?
I had absolutely no idea. That is the most frustrating part. The message looked perfectly fine to me.
It did not look perfectly fine, Michael. And that is exactly where we are starting today. Because that one tiny mistake, would have instead of would have, is quietly causing people warmth in their messages every single day. And the worst part? Nobody ever told you why. Today, we fix that. For good. Let us start with the feeling, because this structure is emotion first, grammar second. Michael, when you hear, I would have helped you, what do you feel?
Regret. Like something that wanted to happen, but did not.
That is the entire engine right there. Would have is not about what happened. It is about what could have happened in an imaginary version of the past that only exists in your mind. And in 5 small words, it does 3 jobs at once.
3 jobs?
I would have helped you, but I was sick. Job 1, you wanted to help. Job 2, you did not help. Job 3, here's the reason why. Want, did not do it, reason. All in one sentence. That is the entire emotional power of this structure. English speakers reach for it constantly. For regrets, for missed chances, for gentle explanations when things did not go as planned. Now, listen carefully. 4 sentences, almost identical. Completely different meanings. I did not help him.
Just a fact. Plain.
I could not help him.
He was unable to. No choice.
I would not help him.
He refused. A decision. He chose not to.
I would have helped him.
He wanted to. He was willing. But something stopped the opportunity from existing at all.
One word changed each time. 4 completely different meanings. And if you use the wrong one, you accidentally say the exact opposite of what you meant. That is not a small mistake. That changes how people understand you. That changes how they feel about you. Now, listen carefully. 4 sentences, almost identical. Completely different meanings. I did not help him.
Just a fact.
Plain. I could not help him.
He was unable to. No choice.
I would not help him.
He refused. A decision. He chose not to.
I would have helped him.
He wanted to. He was willing. But something stopped the opportunity from existing at all.
One word changed each time. 4 completely different meanings. And if you use the wrong one, you accidentally say the exact opposite of what you meant. That is not a small mistake. That changes how people understand you. That changes how they feel about you. Now, back to that message. I woulda helped you today. Would've does not exist. Not anywhere in English. Not in formal writing, not in casual texting, not anywhere. Ever.
But it sounds completely natural when you say it out loud.
Because in fast, natural speech, would have contracts. And that contracted sound lands exactly on the word of. So your ear hears would've, even though your brain means would have. Your ear lied to your fingers while you were typing. And the same trap catches people with should have, could have, might have. Every single one gets mistyped as of. Always wrong. Always have.
So what I should have sent her was simply, I would have helped you today.
Exactly that. And notice, would have works perfectly without any complicated grammar around it. The reason just arrives after but. Clean, simple, human. Let us hear both structures, living inside one real conversation. 2 friends. One of them missed a hike last weekend.
I missed the hike. What happened?
I would have invited you, but I did not know your schedule.
It would have been so fun if I had joined.
Next time, I will tell you properly. We would have all enjoyed it together. Now let us pull that apart. I would have invited you. Would have, plus the action verb invited. The invitation would have happened in an imaginary version of last weekend. It would have been fun. Would have been, plus the adjective fun. A state that would have existed if things had gone differently. We would have all enjoyed it together. Would have, plus the action verb enjoyed. The shared experience that would have happened, but did not. 3 uses. 1 completely ordinary conversation about a missed hike. This is where the language actually lives, not in a textbook exercise, in a real text message between real people. Now you speak, out loud, right now, wherever you are. I would have called you, but I lost my phone.
I would have called you, but I lost my phone.
I would have helped you, but I was sick.
I would have helped you, but I was sick.
It would have been amazing.
It would have been amazing.
I would have come, but my child was sick.
I would have come, but my child was sick.
We would have all enjoyed it together.
We would have all enjoyed it together.
5 sentences. 5 real human moments. A missed call. A missed plan. A missed chance you still think about sometimes. You just said all of them correctly. That stays with you.
I keep thinking about that smile emoji. She was not annoyed at me. She just noticed would have instead of would have. That small, quiet moment where something felt slightly off. Nothing more than that.
And next time, you will not send that. You will write, I would have helped you, but I was sick. And it will land exactly the way you intended. Warm, clear, human. Here is the one thing to carry with you. Would have, for something that would have happened. Would have been, for something that would have existed. Together, they are the closest English gets to saying, I am human. I cared, even when things did not go the way I wanted to. Staying quiet because you aren't sure which form to use costs you something every time. A warmer message you never sent. An honest explanation that stayed half-finished. Speak anyway. Type anyway. Getting it slightly wrong while trying is always better than saying nothing at all.
I would have been lost without this episode. And now I genuinely not.
Subscribe for a new episode every single day. Keep speaking. You are getting better right now, in this moment, every single